on the sidelines of celebrating Africa Day here in Egypt for the past couple of weeks, and for today we are focusing on certain themes, and I would like to be having with me on Nile TV International for today the Ambassador of the Republic of Malawi, Ms. Catherine Nurujean Kunje. Thank you very much for being with us today on Nile TV International for such a fantastic day.
I'm honored to be with you this evening when we are celebrating Africa, the unity of Africa, the oneness of Africa, where we are bringing together all the African nations in the continent.
Some serious themes for today, but some diversity and music and cultural exchanges as well, as we did see today. But speaking about the themes of the meeting for today, the water sustainability and the agenda of Africa 2063. Water sustainability in itself, how do you see the importance of it for every African citizen, especially that it is looking forward for the next 30 or 40 years?
Yeah, as we all know that water is life, and indeed water is life. Without water there is no life, and there's a great need to sustain and to take care of water. So every country in the continent of Africa and every individual in the continent of Africa has a responsibility to take care of the water that is freely given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, we take it for granted in some of the countries, like my country. It rains every year and we have so many water bodies, but you find that there are other countries in the same continent that don't even have, it doesn't rain, you know, and water is so scarce. So we take it for granted that we have water in abundance, and we forget the responsibility of taking care of that water because it is scarce in other areas of the continent. So the theme of this year's celebration is very, very significant, very, very important, because as I've already said that water is life, we need to sustain it, and it goes hand in hand with the goals of 2063.
Yes, and we also have youth in abundance in the African continent, one of the more important resources that the African continent has, and one of the prides of the African continent. How do you think we should be making use of such an opportunity to be having 70% of Africa under the age of 40 or 35? Yes, so how do you see the importance of making the best of such an opportunity, especially that one of the themes for today and one of the discussions for today tackled the importance of combating the illegal migration and internal slavery?
Yeah, it's indeed a very good resource, having the youth in that bracket of 75 to 80%. In other parts of the world, it's the other way around. The biggest percentage of the people living are the elderly. So the youth are the engine of growth in every community because they have the energy, they have the power and whatnot. But then as countries or as a continent, we need to take care of this resource. We need to take care of our youth. What is it that we are feeding our youth? What is it that we are teaching our youth? Because we can just say that we have this manpower or this resource as youth, and then we are not taking care of it. We are not feeding them the right materials for the future, because the youth are the future. On the contrary, I also don't like to say that the youth are the future. The youth are today. We need to prepare them today so that the future is brighter. So we have a responsibility as a continent to take care of our youth and to check what are we feeding our youth. Because at the end of the day, we might have the youth that is useless, and the 75% of the population will be useless. So we need to take care of our youth. We need to check what are we feeding them.
Speaking about the bright future, how do you see first the historic relations between Egypt and Malawi and the future of bilateral relations between both countries?
The relations between Egypt and Malawi have been vibrant since time immemorial. That's why I am here. That's why I'm here. And we working hand in hand, complementing each other in so many areas, in areas of health, education, agriculture, and whatnot. So the relationships between the bilateral relation between the two countries is very cordial, and we're looking forward to further strengthen.
Yes, Ms. Catherine Nurujean, the Ambassador of the Republic of Malawi to Egypt, thank you very much for being with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.